Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Cilinix Crypto. Hope you're all doing great, and welcome to this new video right here on XRP. We're going to do a full update. It will mainly be technical. I think the technicals right now are the best thing to focus on regarding XRP. But obviously, I will take into account all the fundamental news that we've had over the last week. The last week was quite intense. With developments, with updates, with news, but ultimately I'll take that into account, and then we'll just do a full analysis. So yeah, XRP this morning, since yesterday late afternoon, has started to pull back a little bit from the main resistance level right here at 2.3. Not strange, because it is a very strong resistance level. However, yesterday in the video, what I said, with all the momentum that yesterday morning we still very much had, and we have lost some of that, which is not great. But what I said is that I still thought it was most likely that we were going to get a bullish breakout and rally up to 2.41 and 2.45. Now, first of all, I do still think that. However, my timeline in which period of time we can expect that has shifted a little bit. And the main reason for that is that it's the 4th of July today. So first of all, congratulations if you're from the United States. So what that means is that momentum very often is going to drop down, and we have already seen that since yesterday afternoon, momentum for XRP has dropped down. So it's not only out of experience, but it's also out of what we are witnessing right now. And momentum is what you do need to break out of a relatively strong intraday resistance level right here at 2.32, 2.28. And then outside of that, I also don't suspect that over the course of today or this weekend we will get many fundamental updates, which is also something you need, right? Because XRP, basically what's going on, if we decipher what this price action means, is that buyers and sellers agree that this is somewhat of a fair price, right? So this, let's say the point of control right here at 2.18. So that changes if we get a major shift in the entire market, or if we get some good news, right? So that's the only way fundamentally we could break out above 2.3 and 2.28. And at this point of time, it's unlikely that, first of all, the news that we had this week will still cause something like that later. That doesn't happen very often. And it's also unlikely that we will get new news, which is a bit of that's very double, because news is always new, of course. But that we get news this weekend or today that will push us above that, right? So I would say, like purely technically, we've spoken a lot about fundamentals for a video in which I wanted to focus on technicals. But technically, we still have a chance, because we are still holding above the 7-day rolling VWAP. But if I look at what the market is doing, if I look at decreasing momentum, not only for Bitcoin and XRP, but basically across the entire market, if I see that, and I add that up with the fundamentals and with the rejection at the top of the range right here, I would say it's a little bit more likely that XRP is just going to shift back into that into that cozy and tight consolidation range right here around 2.18 and 2.19. And then from there, look, like I said, at some point of time, I do still expect the bullish breakouts, but it could still take it could still take some time. And you can also see right here that there's imbalances left to the downside, which we have never really filled. So that is something to be aware of. Now, do I necessarily expect us to drop down into 2.08 and 2.12, which is that area where we have those imbalances? No, I would say stability around 2.18 is more likely. But that does mean that expecting that breakout relatively soon is not on my list anymore, unless we get some very positive news. But like I said, given the circumstances in the next couple of days, I think that's unlikely. But those are my thoughts. That's what I think you need to know for now. So if you do have any questions, let me know down in the comments. For now, thank you for watching. Take care and bye.